All right, so I just got done uploading my footage um, of me running here, and now I'm about to turn around and run back. Well, I already turned around, but I'm about to run back. Okay, I just want to ask you, how you like my birthday suit, man? It's a cop joke, you wouldn't get it. So some people have a birthday suit, like most people. Nothing against them. We love their birthday suit, all right? All cops love their birthday suit. Even preemie forensics officers like me like our birthday suit, all right? Okay, and just a size down a little bit, so you can feel safe. All right, you're cool. You're still up there. I got you. You're sitting on my shoulders. We got you, babe. I'm still non-sworn. Hey, yo. Shout out to all the non-sworn officers in the building. Everybody say hey, hey. Yo, everybody across the nation that's still non-sworn just said hey. We all did the wave. Somebody saw a rainbow in the sky and they thought it just got done storming, or there was a pot of gold somewhere. Newsflash, I'm the pot of gold. All right, so anyhow, but this is our birthday suit. It's an inside joke, you know. It's like cops. It's like, yo, man, this is our birthday suit. It is, 'cause every day is our birthday. Nah, but just there's a little bit of funny humor. I have to throw it in there. You gotta throw it in there, man, because if you don't, your day is gonna suck, dude. Your day is really gonna suck. All right. So when you wear a uniform, any kind of uniform, people stop, especially a uniform and symbolic logic will tell you after pulling your head out of your ass, and sometimes you got to do it every day until it stays out of your ass, and you're like, I got it. It's not personal, okay? Because you can't personalize it. It's symbolic logic. Like the vest is one thing, right? Think about kids, or think about troublemakers, right? What did you fear when your dad came home? Or when your parent came home that hit you with the belt? It could have been your mom, right? You feared the belt. So as long as it's on their waist, it's cool. But when dad comes through the door and he doesn't say anything and he takes off his belt, everybody's scared as shit. I know, because I was one of those kids that got hit with the belt, and it straightened me out, man. It put the fear of God in me, and I needed that. You know, it kept me from becoming, a repeat felon, hardened criminal, a gun carrier. All right. So listen, these cuffs, right? When somebody sees cuffs, they're like, oh shit, right? And then they look for signs of security. Is there a security guard? No, that's forensics. I'm not fucking with it. And it really but then it also makes people wonder, you know what I mean? And these are the kind of things that, these are the kind of things that make people really quit their job. You know what I mean? It's because, if you're the type of person that needs people to be comfortable and pulling a fast one, this job is not for you. Any job like it is not for you, you know? But if you're the kind of guy that when you stop being the person that pulls fast ones, because I used to be the person that pulls fast ones all the time, you know, I'd try and I'd be walking, there's a cop, I'm like, shit, man, I got some butt on me. How do I get past this person? You know what I mean? So I used to do it all the time, you know what I mean? Fortunately, I never carried large amounts, but that's neither here nor there. So, but that's some street humor, you wouldn't understand. All right. So, but you see the humor in it, because it's like, you could tell somebody day in and day out, over and over again, like every time you see them, because we'll call them nervous ninnies, right? Somebody who's a nervous ninny. So it's either they're always up to something, or they're always up to something and they let it bother them. So, they're not built for their lifestyle either, all right? But that's not my business to tell them that. But what my business is that even if you're not doing any shenanigans, as you shouldn't when you're working, even when you're working for yourself, because I don't want to hire you as a security guard for my graduation. You're a shenanigan. Or I don't want to take you on as a detective to work under me as a forensics officer, or at my lab. A medical examiner wouldn't want to take you if you're a forensics, but you're a shenanigan. All right. But the thing is, when you're no longer a shenanigan, and you notice who you were before, because that's the people that are the shenanigans and the people that you used to hang around. You notice them when they try to, invite you to the reindeer games, and it's like, hey, you wanna slack off a little bit? Nah, I'm working. And then once they get used to you saying, nah, I'm working, then it's like they feel indifferent. Like, does that mean you're gonna bust me if I do something, or does that mean I shouldn't do it at all? And the reality of it all is, I'm forensics. It's not my job to bust you. And I don't have to explain that the cuffs are for, this is American Muscle Security, okay? The cuffs. The paperwork is forensics work. That's a different entity. You know what I mean? But, so I'm doing two things at the same time. I'm keeping myself secure, but I'm also doing forensics work, mostly on my phone and wherever I go to, as far as the lab with my paperwork. Okay? So, but it really boils down to loneliness. When I used to smoke weed, when I started, I liked to smoke weed with other people because, like-minded people, mostly musicians. That's neither here nor there. For integrity's sake, I'm not going to put them out there like that. But I'd like to smoke with other people because we'd make a hit. We'd work, and they would all come over to my place and we'd make a hit. You know what I mean? But, when I started realizing that because I started smoking with different crowds, and some of the crowds, you can't really trust them. Like, they were just there to really see you fumble your pack. So the type of people to sprinkle shit in your bud and watch you run down the street paranoid like Chris Tucker, drop your wallet, drop your phone. And like some of you people know, like, have you ever smoked with somebody and, they start, they try to intimidate you. And you're not intimidated because the weed is actually working. You're confident in your skin, you're feeling good, you're not intimidated. So, they don't like that. They're like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you drink, right? People drink so they could feel loose, so they could feel good around women. But they don't like when other guys feel confident around women. So that's when you see the kind of drunk, because it's two kind of drinkers. That's when you see the drinker that's the angry drinker, you know what I mean? The violent drinker, the aggressive drinker, not the social drinker. The social drinker is going to be like, he's going to notice people are throwing shade on him at the club, and he's just going to leave. He's like, hey, babe, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave, so if you want to meet me at the car, it's cool. I could, help you get an Uber, or you can get an Uber. You can meet me out. I'm going to cut out early, or what do you want to do? You want to leave, or you want to stay? You want to chill with your friends? I'll catch up with you later. I'm going to go chill with my boys. Why are you leaving? I don't like the vibe in here. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like you're being a onesie, but it's smart, right? And this is why I don't bring sand to the beach. I don't go to the club with a female. If I go to the club, you know what I mean? I'm going to leave, but, sometimes when you leave, that makes females turn into a drama queen. And unless they want to be left alone, you know what I mean? So it's good to go by yourself, you know what I mean? But, even when you're with your guy friends, because guys can be like, oh, what, who's hating on you? Let's handle this right now. And that's when you're drinking with the wrong crew. So it's good to drink with like-minded people if you drink. So this is a conversation about, a little bit of humor about my birthday suit, right? I might even call this video my birthday suit. But also, it's just a little bit of just tips that I learned on how to stay out of shit. You know what I mean? Drink with like-minded people. Even if you smoke, I'm not against smoking weed. Smoke legally, smoke safely, smoke with like-minded people, because not everybody that smokes with you is your friend. Like, if you're a Chris Tucker kind of guy, smoke with somebody like Ice Cube, because not only is he going to stand up for you, he's going to eventually quit, and that's going to give you the backbone, not just to stand up to your bullies, hopefully by yourself one day without him, but also to get a job. You know what I mean? Because Chris Tucker, he didn't really have a good relationship with his family. Not the actor, but the character in Friday, if you remember. You know what I mean? But Ice Cube, his character, Craig, he did. So, you know, and that's really basically the surmise of it all is that, you know, that's why I quit. You know what I mean? So, like, notice, remember how Chris Tucker was in the movie? If you can't just really think about anybody that you know, remember how Chris Smokey was in the movie? He always needed Craig. He said, "Craig, let's smoke." Why was he always encouraging Craig to smoke? Because nobody just, like, only people that really they're really, they got heart, can smoke by themselves. Okay, two types of people that smoke by themselves. I know, I used to smoke weed, right? You've heard this before. All right, somebody who's a thinker. And some people say, "Oh man, you gotta watch this person, watch the quiet people, watch this guy, this guy's quiet." They don't just say it about me, they say it about everybody who actually does something with their life. Because to do something with your life, sometimes you can't tell everybody your plans. And they'll say that you're plotting on something or whatever. Yeah, you are plotting. You're plotting to get that bag. You're plotting on $1 million. You're not plotting on somebody else's bag. You're plotting on your own. But if you're out loud with the shit, others go, "Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So you're trying to do this angle, all right." And they're gonna beat you to the turnbuckle. "Oh, I gotta beat it." And they're off to the races. They're trying to get to the next turnbuckle. You know what I mean? Not so that they could, you know, they think it's also a good idea. There would be nothing wrong with that. But so that they could, you know, lay spikes in your road and you run over it and your tire blows. And they're not even the police. You know what I mean? So, in reality, that's just an analogy. So they could go and leave banana peels everywhere so you could slip. So people don't like to smoke by themselves. People don't like to do anything by themselves. It's just psychology that when you're driving down the road or when you're walking through your neighborhood, "Oh, hey, so-and-so, hey, how you doing?" Because you're on the same vibe, you're on the same shit. But when you see somebody dressed like me, you know, especially, it's not just dressed like, people are okay when they dress like me. But when you're cool with the cops, that's different. Because that means that when shit hits the fan, you're gonna help a cop, I'm gonna help a cop. But when somebody wants to go do a robbery or go fight somebody or go, shoot somebody or do anything unlawful, take advantage of somebody, you're not down for the gangbang. You're not down for any of that shit. Nah, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? You don't even want to smoke. And it's not that you might not even want to smoke. You might still be a smoker, a stoner, right? But you don't smoke with them, because if you do, you're going to start telling them all your plans and they're going to use it against you. And not only that, you're not safe, because they might sprinkle something in your blunt and all of a sudden you feel paranoid and you thought you were smoking loud, but you were smoking Fetty.